So as America marches into the abyss it voted for, talk turns to the Republican Party's future, if there is one. It's gotten to the point where you talk about the party's fate. It's like discussing the future of your senile aunt. You do it right in front of her. Here's Rand Paul. You know, I wonder if he would absolutely not run unless it were to win.
I would absolutely not run unless it were to win. You know, points have been made and we'll continue to make points, but I think the country really is ready for the narrative coming, libertarian Republican narrative, also because we've been losing as a national party.
And there's Karl Rove. I wonder if he thinks Rand Paul had it right and that everybody has got a chance.
I think Rand Paul had it right. Everybody's got a chance. We believe in markets. Let people go in and participate. We should. It's just the opposite of Politburo. The more people who participate, the better off we are. The more we examine the quality of these candidates from top to bottom, the more likely we end up with fewer Christine O'Donnells and more Rand Pauls. Oh.
Sexy man. Finally, Dr. Ben Carson, I bet he'd like to see more often in this nation an open and intelligent conversation, not just people casting aspersions at each other.
I would like to see more often in this nation is an open and intelligent conversation, not people just casting aspersions at each other. I mean, it's unbelievable to me, the way people act like third graders.
Ben Carson for president. You're retiring as a surgeon this summer. What do you make of it? Are you going to get into politics?
It's not my intention to do that, but as I always say in every part of my life, I'll leave that up to God.
Look, here's what's needed in a nominee. Someone you don't have to explain. Someone who doesn't need me or you to defend his clumsy retorts. And I don't want a witch. Feel free to cast aspersions, but not spells. But I also want a fighter, a person who wants to win and won't roll over in a debate on Benghazi because a consultant told him to. I want someone who cheerfully destroys the liberal lie that achievement is selfish and that earning your keep means others will starve. And this person must realize he's fighting two fronts, the Democrats and the media, and the only way to beat them is to shine a light on them with humor. So to paraphrase Mark Twain, rumors of the Republican Party's death have been greatly exaggerated because the Republicans have one secret weapon. The Democrats. While we may have a different Republican savior every week, there is one constant we can all count on, the inherent bankruptcy of liberal ideas. Oh, and also that Joe Biden will say something really stupid. He's the best thing to happen to Republicans since Dana Perino.
I don't think that was a compliment.
It was, it could be taken both ways.
Okay.
Much like a lot of things. Andrea, is America ready for a libertarian president, or is he really just saying a small government person with less military output?
That's a very good question. Libertarians had a lot of luck in the 1990s, and since then, not so much. And I think they often are considered too controversial because of their positions on legalizing pot, which now has become a bit more mainstream, and legalizing prostitution, which a lot of conservatives, of course, can't wrap their arms around. But I do think that Rand Paul is a little bit different. I like him a lot. I think that he speaks the truth. He's very, very tough. He doesn't go back and forth. He's not his father. And I would say that the question is, Greg, do we want to become a big tent? Are we really that big tent? Because a lot of people will say, you know what, I'd love to vote Republican, but I can't because of the social issues. And if we had somebody who maybe was more liberal, we could get more voters, open up that big tent, because every election, Democrats use social issues around our necks. Contract with America was great because it didn't get into social issues and it was something we could all agree on, but they always use those social issues like they did with Todd Aiken. So maybe somebody who doesn't give them that opportunity, that would be a chance. Will they get by the right? I don't know.
Also, does he have a perm?
Who, Rand Paul?
I can't tell if it's a natural hair curl or a perm, but that's for the debate later. I think that's going to be the first thing David Gregory asks.
Nice hair.
Beckel, I want to ask you this. We already have a professional grad student in the office, and we have $6 gallon gas. Why not have a libertarian? That can't be any worse.
Well, Gutfeld, let me tell you what. First of all, it's interesting to me that he said a libertarian Republican.
Yeah.
The Libertarians are on the ballot every 4 years. They've qualified for it for a long time now. He's clearly running for the Republican presidential nomination if that's what he's going to go for. But the idea that Rand Paul and the good doctor and the Republican Party now casting around for these various people tells me that the bench for the Republicans, which we kept talking about was be mighty strong, is not nearly as strong. I mean, Rubio's already gotten a taste of what it's like to step into the middle of this mix, and it hasn't been very pleasant.
But
let's see, maybe he can take it.
But nothing. What
Actually
happened
worked
to
out in his
Rubio?
favor.
Worked out. He sold $200,000 of bottled water. I should be so lucky, Eric.
Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Rand Paul. The problem with me with libertarians is that the whole thing about the smaller military. A true libertarian will say just protect our borders, don't have any foreign policy at all. I think that's going to be tough to win anytime soon. I'm kind of evolving on something, though. I'm listening to what's important. Making the bigger tent, making sure the Republican Party says, more people come out.
Are you going to come out for prostitution?
No, I'm going to come out. Here's what I'm going to come out for. Chris Christie. I'm back on Chris Christie again. It seems to me like we really need someone with a personality.
We said big tent, not big pants.
But someone who's likable, a guy who you can really say, I like what this, he speaks his mind, says what it is, and you don't have to worry about some of these issues that may be a problem to both Carson and maybe Rand Paul.
I think he could be a stronger candidate than Rubio. Certainly a general election candidate.
I want to get Dana in this before we tease. Do you have anything intelligent to add to this?
I think I would just add this, that a lot people are rejecting calling themselves a Republican, and they don't like to call themselves a Democrat. They don't want to say conservative or liberal. And there are some very appealing characteristics of a libertarian that speak to people and how they're feeling right now. And so I think people are taking another look at it. But the reason he says Libertarian-Minded Republican is sort of like an a la carte menu. Yeah. Like I want a little of this and a little of that, and then we'll see who comes up with.
That's a good point. I'm surprised. Okay. Well,
drink awkwardly.
Well, I drink. Yeah, hold on. I'm sure that was done a lot while I was gone, so it doesn't matter.
No, we didn't do it.
All right.